The anime opens with Shiro, a student of Year 2, Class C, of Homurahara School. He finds Shinji's body in a very messed up room. After killing her brother Shinji for his attempted rape, Sakura Matu finally merges with the shadow. Zuken Matu emerges from the shadow and taunts Shiro, saying he wished Shiro was the one betraying Sakura instead. Shiro asks about Sakura's whereabouts, but Zuken grins a smile. Ilya and Rin are hanging out when Iria notices a shadow. She follows it to the open and Sakura shows herself. Rin knew Sakura would come for Iria when the time came and was waiting for Sakura to show up. Sakura taunts Rin for making her a bad person. Rin tries to fight Sakura, but she is way more powerful now. With one move, Sakura absorbs all of Rin's magical energy. Sakura has accepted her role and turned herself merciless. She decides to kill Shiro, who tries to talk her out of her madness. To be a vessel for the Holy Grail like her mother was, Zuken sends the corrupted Sakura to kidnap Ilyasviel von Einspern. She attacks Shiro with the saber altar while Rider intervenes. Sakura subdues Rider and stabs her multiple times. Ilya surrenders to save everyone and goes with Sakura. Ilya calls Sakura the most powerful amongst them, and this impresses Sakura. Ilya leads Sakura and Saber to the castle to get the final key. Saber warns Shiro to stay away from their mission of gaining the Holy Grail, or the next time, she won't have a choice but to end him. Shiro and Rider take Rin to Kodomomuke. They beg him to help Rin. As they spend the night in the church, Kodomomuke confronts Shiro about Sakura turning enemy. Kodomomuke informs that Zuken is waiting for Sakura to be a hollow shell. To end this evil plan of Zuken, they must save Ilya, and defeat Zuken before Sakura reaches that point. Kodomomuke leads Shiro to the back of the church and offers him a car. They can't let Rider know they are heading towards the castle as she is still connected to her master. While driving, Kodomomuke and Shiro have a conversation about Shiro's father's values. Shiro confronts Kodomomuke about saving Sakura. He admits that he saved her because he didn't want her to be dying for unfairness. All humans die at one point, and Sakura shouldn't die before her due time just because of her destined fate. Kodomomuke asks why Shiro wants to save Sakura despite her evil transformation. He continues to tell why Sakura deserves to die, and Shiro stays silent. They have finally reached the castle, which is already in ruins compared to its prior state. Shiro uses his power to locate Sakura and others, which turns out to be the third floor. Kodomomuke advises Shiro to not lose sight of his priorities. Kodomomuke throws Shiro towards the window and is able to find Ilyasviel in the room. However, Ilya asks them to go home if they don't want to die. Shiro manages to convince Ilya, and Kodomomuke carries her away. Kodomomuke distracts Zuken and his servant assassin while Shiro rescues Ilya, but Sakura sends a now corrupted berserker to chase them. Sakura suggests Shiro to leave her and run away, but Shiro doesn't agree to the plan. Meanwhile, in an abandoned church, Kodomomuke and the assassin engage in a fight-off. As they fight, Kodomomuke reminisces about the one he loved while completely defeating the assassin. Kodomomuke rushes to the roof and finds Zuken about to run away. He exorcises Zuken with an attack to his astral body using holy words from the script. Assassin witnesses the immense power of Kodomomuke and disappears. On the other side, the corrupted berserker has cornered them. Shiro, in one last effort to defeat Berserker, unseals Archer's artificial left arm, even though he knows that doing so will ultimately kill him. Ilya tries to stop Shiro from unsealing his arm, but Shiro thanks her for considering him as her brother. Shiro's archer arm slices the corrupted berserker with a single blow. Saber finds Shiro and Ilya in the woods. Near the abandoned church, Sakura comes face to face with Kodomomuke. As Kodomomuke provokes Sakura, she crushes his artificial heart. But Berserker's death weakens her. Saber was about to attack Ilya and Shiro, but she leaves as Sakura calls for her. Shiro returns to Rin's place and is in great pain due to his archer arm. Rin informs Shiro they will be going out. Shiro, Ilya and Rin walk while Ilya talks about the Holy Grail War. Holy Grail is a magical artifact that grants almost any wish. Human wizards or masters summon up magical spirits, and make them kill each other. It is called the Holy Grail War. The sacrifice jump starts the ritual, allowing to open a portal to the magical dimension of infinite wishes. The Lesser Grail is a magical sacrifice cup which holds the dead spirits sacrificed for the wish. The Greater Grail uses that energy, and is a portal beneath a temple that punches through a hole into the magical energy dimension. Leah's family was responsible for creating the Lesser Grail to store those spirits and are the reactor core to start up the Greater Grail. Greater Grail oversees the system of the Holy Grail War. Ilya informs Shiro that Zuken is trying to release the Avenger by altering Sakura. The main body of the shadow that merged with Sakura is called Angra Mainyu. She tells them the story of a certain village where the villagers chose a young man to shoulder all their sins and tried to prove goodness without him. He became the anti-hero, Angra-Mainyu. During the Third War, the Eitsburn summoned Angra-Mainyu as a servant, however he was very weak. He was defeated early and was then merged into the Holy Grail. Then Holy Grail then accepted a wish to embody all the evils in the guise of shadow. In the Fourth War, Ilya's father Kiritsugu destroyed the Holy Grail. Thus, Angra-Mainyu was never born and was left within the Greater Grail. Sakura has become an artificial Holy Grail to birth Angra-Mainyu when Zuken implanted a shard of the Holy Grail inside her. After all, Angra is a servant, so Zuken made Sakura his master. When Sakura bears Angra-Mainyu, she has no way to return, so Shiro and others have to hurry and stop before Angra-Mainyu is born. Rin and Ilya decide to show him their family memories and let him use the jeweled sword to end the war. In the vision, Ilya takes Shiro to Ryadu Temple, where he witnesses the 3 members from Tosaka, Eitsburn and Makiri achieve root. The Tosakas offer the spiritual grounds to construct the Holy Grail, the Makiris offer the command spell to tie down the servants sacrificed, and the Eitsburns offer the magic circle. Eitsburn lies down and connects to the pillar. Shiro witnesses the jeweled sword used in the process. The vision takes a toll on Shiro. Ryder visits him where Shiro asks to lend him her powers. Rin, who is holding the sword, gets a visit from shadowy Sakura, who tries to convince Rin and others to run away. In the meantime, Zuken plans to use Sakura as his new vessel by placing his real body close to her heart. But in response, Sakura swallows Assassin with the shadow before yanking Zuken from her chest and killing him. Rin, Shiro and Ryder head towards the Fuyuki cave. Shiro finds traces of blood, but Rin tells him to focus on finding their way to Sakura. Saber Altar blocks their path, allowing Rin to only pass on Sakura's instructions. Rin bids her farewell and reminds them to keep their fight short if they want to save Sakura. Ride takes off her blindfold and they start their combat. Rin is guided by the shadows to the Greater Grail. As Saber and Ryder fight with their immense power, Shiro waits for the right opening to terminate Saber. Ryder and Shiro unite their powers to make a final blow to Saber that decapitates her. Shiro stabs Saber with the dagger Rin stored her magical energy for 10 years. This completely eliminated Saber. Shiro thanks Saber for saving him countless times as she disappears into the shadows. He runs ahead, asking Ryder to recover from her injuries. Near the Greater Grail, Rin cuts through all of the shadows with her jeweled sword. Rin's power angers Sakura and feels her feel incompetent even though she possesses huge command over the shadows. Finally, Sakura expresses her pain when the whole world was against her even though they are children from the same family. After Sakura claims to feel abandoned by the world, Rin is unable to kill her. Rin confesses that she could never kill her sister once she saw her up close and sacrifices herself while expressing regret for failing to be a better sister. Seeing Rin's lifeless body, Sakura decides to end it all. Sakura is held captive by the shadow, but Shiro runs towards Sakura. Shiro prevents Sakura from sacrificing herself to stop Angra-Mainyu after she attempts to do so out of guilt. After insisting that they both make amends by remaining alive, Shiro projects his sorcery nullifying rule breaker sword, breaking Sakura's connection to the shadow. Shiro hands Sakura and Rin to Ryder and requests her to take them away. Angra-Mainyu has still not stopped and finds Kodomomuke at the foot, deciding to let Angra-Mainyu be born. Kodomomuke asks if there is any difference between good and evil. Meanwhile, Zuken has still not died and desperately tries to escape. He begs to let him live as he tries to run away in the form of a worm. He is led to his end by the sprites of the 3 members of the Magi family. The members from Tosaka, Eitsburn and Makiri promise to make a new world for the humans and recite their vows to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. Despite Sakura having been cleansed of the shadow, Angra-Mainyu continues to make an attempt to escape the Holy Grail. After a bloody fist fight, Shiro defeats Kodomomuke, who, before passing away, declares Shiro the victor of the Holy Grail War. Finally, as the final master of the Holy Grail, Shiro thinks about what he has to do. Shiro is getting crystallized due to using his archer arm, and as a last attempt, Shiro tries to end the Holy Grail. Shiro is shown a vision by his arm, and he witnesses his own death. Ilya intervenes to prevent Shiro from destroying the Holy Grail at the expense of his life. Ilya asks if Shiro wants to live, to which Shiro tearfully says he wants to. Ilya walks into the Greater Grail and performs the Heavens Feel ritual to save Shiro by separating his soul from his dying body. This ultimately destroys the Holy Grail. Ilya reveals herself as Shiro's older sister and swears to protect him. After destroying the Greater Grail, her powers, Ilya meets her mother Irisveel's spirit as she passes away. Shiro's necklace breaks and a hand seems to grab him. The Greater Grail falls and the war ends. Sakura and others return to their lives with the void of the missing people. Shiro's body completely disappeared when the Greater Grail fell. Sakura, Rin and a reincarnated rider are living at Shiro's apartment. Rin and Sakura manage to bring Shiro back to life by putting his recovered soul inside an artificial body that Tuko Ozaki provided. Shiro and Sakura pick up their relationship again. Rin asks Sakura if she is happy and Sakura with a smile agrees that she is happy. Later, Sakura, Shiro along with Rin, and others visit the cherry blossoms as Shiro had promised. If you enjoyed this recap, check out the next episode. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more anime recaps, turn on the bell notification for future uploads and leave a like to help the channel out.